Have you ever wondered why the market always goes against you? Many times after you've bought a share, then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M plus Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for the Wiz feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Louis here, and today we have the Wiz Pro highlights session, and this will be around 30 minutes, and we'll try to find out what is happening in the market and what are the things that people are using right now to trade the market. So I perhaps will share my screen right now and to let you understand what is happening in the market. So first of all, I think most of you would have understand that today market is a bit choppy. It has been on a declining mode. But what is happening in the market is people are waiting for the 12 MP, the 12 Malaysia plan, and people wants to know what is a good, a good sort of catalyst for the at least next 5 years to invest in, and what kind of events can we anticipate in 12 MP. So I think just now there are some news coming out on the telco side. That is what we already put into our market outlook as well. So talking about the market outlook, we also put out a report, so you can actually check out our report, and we have provided with some good insights about the a lot of sectors that we like tech and telco, and also some of recovery team play and things like that. So that is just to summarize what we anticipate things to happen, at least for the 12 MP and at least before the budget 2022. So before we start into our Wiz Pro highlights, and let's check out what is the good sectors or leading sectors for today. Perhaps everyone would know that Brent oil prices has surged through above the $78 mark right now, heading towards 79, and that's why you can see that the oil and gas counters are actually moving up. So I think this is a bit too much in terms of the, yep. Okay, so this is a very clear-cut situation here, whereby they have started to make a breakout above the 78, which is the previous high around July 6. They didn't went towards the $78 mark, but it didn't break. It pulled back further, and for 2 months period, then later part of the day, we have seen the surge above this $78 mark again. And right now it's 79, so which means that there are still ample room to go. And we believe, based on the chart itself, this is on a very strong uptrend move, and it's likely to continue higher. So first of all, you need to see that this is an uptrend in tech move, and it has hit 3 times in a row on this trend line here. And right now it has broken above the 78, and next target will be located around this level, which is 86. So if this is a very strong rally, and if this strong rally will continue, where is the next target? It will be around 86. So if 86 were to come in, or if they can surge above 80, I would take that as a very good opportunity to look a lot more effort into the oil and gas counters. So that's why we today have put in RL into our stock selection, and that is also part of the strategy that we think about what is going to happen in the market, and we position ourselves in that particular sectors, and therefore we have put in one of the counters under under this oil and gas sector. So let's go through again on what else are actually moving. Is the industrial products and services, construction, technology is a bit weak as compared last week. Plantation is a bit stronger today, I think, due to the CPO price as well, hovering around the 4,500 level. Then transportation and logistics. So I know that a lot of people would be, asking about the 51% of equity for Bumi Putra. Is that good or bad in terms of the transportation or logistics? So far, it has been quite positive. I think that there could be a lot of M&As coming out there in terms of these transportation and logistic companies. But to be frank, maybe the 51% of equity of that policy may not go through. Okay, so may not go through. So let's see how does it pan out. But so far, after the announcement or the proposal of 51% of equity for Bumi, that has actually put a transportation and logistics into a much better position. So that's why you can see GDEX, Tasco, Complete, all these are actually moving higher. So the market seems to be quite like it on this 51% of the equity, mainly because people think that there might be M&As that is coming into the transportation and logistic company, not because of these 51% of equity given to the Bumi is good for the sector, but they are predicting or anticipating some M&As to be to have some actions within the transportation and logistic companies. Okay, so that is why transportation and logistic company are moving. Energy is moving. This is quite clear cut because crude oil prices is moving up higher, so that would translate to stronger trading interest. So you can see the energy sector is only around 25 counters, and today there are 19 counters that is up. So you can see KNM, Sabah, Uzma, Charimin. So most of the names are up. So I believe that if you are trading on this sector, you just look out for these 25 names, or I think some of the portion are actually under this industrial products and services. So like PCAM is related to oil and gas a bit. So Petronas, yep. So these are some of the places you can find some of the counters. Like RL is under, let me check. It's also under energy, but it's under Ace Market Energy. So Ace Market Energy, you have to find Ace Market Energy, which is under the summary, Ace Market. Then you can go into energy sector. Then you can see some of the names are here. Okay, so that is how you sort of understand what is happening in the market through looking at the indices itself. Some sort it will give you some ideas, okay, of what is happening in the market. So yeah, this is just a broad view of what is happening. Property is down, financial service is down, REITs is down, and KLCI is down, consumer sector is down, industrial product is up, technology is up, but not too much. I think last week the strong movements has given a lead towards technology, but this week itself, people start to take profit and move into energy. So that is how people move the funds. So far, I think today's trading volume and trading value is a bit on a slower path because the market is actually anticipating what is going to happen in the 12 MP. So just now I received some news related to this. They said 15 billion more to be invested by private sector to speed up the nationwide 5G rollouts. So in terms of 5G rollouts, I think once the news is out, I think 10 minutes of 5 minutes before this trading session close, you can see that Binacom and also some of the counters are actually up. So so which means that people knew that the news would actually impact on the 5G related counters, and that is why some of these names are up. Like OCK is also up a little bit. I think Opcom is also up a little bit. So overall, I say that news already sort of given you some clue that the telco sector is going to be up and running in the next 5 years, and therefore people have started to participate into this telco sector. Okay, so coming back to what happened, based on what we understand that the market will do, and what are our stock picks for today. So we have put in RL, that is one of the names under oil and gas. We also put in UWC just in case that the technology stock counters continue to move even higher. So that's why we have put in UWC, and UWC has actually performed a little bit a while from 618 to 625, but it when the profit taking activities came in. So why do we pick UWC? Is because that they have a very good significant breakout here. You can see that trend line, the breakout happened, and volume has started to pick up on Friday. And hopefully we think that the buying momentum can continue and sustain towards at least the 642 level for today. So that is our whole intention. But overall, we can see that there is no harm to hold on to this counter because it is already an uptrending move. You can see that the consolidation phase happened here, and also at here it has cleared out most of the selling pressure this part. So right now it is again re-establishing the uptrend in tech movements. And the next target will be located around this 663 or even higher towards the 7 ring and 30 cents level. I'm expecting that to be a mid-term to long-term position holding. I don't think that is a short-term 1 to 2 days kind of movements. So UWC, you can actually hold on to it. So RL is under oil and gas. Eureka is under the construction sector. We think that it is quite actively traded last few days, and today it did break out above 67 cents. Highest point is around 69.5, so that is around more or less 2 cents. 4 ticks, I think that is very sufficient for you to take profit for an intraday position. D Berhad, we are trying to position ourselves because of this very strong move earlier on, and it has been consolidating sideways. So I'm thinking that this is a breakout, this is a pullback, and it is sideways, and hopefully that it continues again. The idea or the psychology behind this is interesting because we have seen this very strong bar here. Can you see this strong bar? This is an inverted hammer, but instead the selling pressure on that particular day, although there is a lot of selling pressure that came in on that particular day, but the next day itself, it didn't see follow-through interest below the 45, 46 cents level. So what does that mean? It means that people are having selling pressure, but people doesn't want to sell it further below the 46 cents. But instead, over the next couple of days, you can see that the price has started to make some good movements upwards. So which means that people are still wanting the share price to go up, okay? So the idea is that last 2 days or Thursday, Friday, last week, they have made a higher high or so-called short-term resistance along the 49 cents level. So today we are going to monitor for a breakout. So therefore today itself, it has breakout, but it did not sustain its movement. So what do we do here is that if there is a breakout, but it didn't move, you should hold on to your position. And if it is falling below 46 cents, then you cut loss. But if it is continuing to surge above this 49 cents, then I would say that 53.5 cents is achievable. And if you base on the previous high, you can go up to even higher towards around the 57 cents level. So that is how I view this situation here. Okay. So before we go on to our next agenda, I think everyone would know that we are always open to Q&A later on, like around 12:50, 12:55. So if you are keen to have your questions being answered, maybe you can share this video out, click a like button, and make sure you have a sharer badge on your question. Before you ask a question, you share it out, so you have the sharer badge. So once you get a sharer badge, and if you ask a question, then we will take your question from that point onwards. Okay. So make sure you have shared this video out and to obtain the sharer badge. Okay. Okay. So next counter that we have is NCOM. NCOM is also very, very interesting because of the higher high, higher low formation that has happened early on. So it has made a very good breakout, pullback, and continuation pattern. So when I draw this 185 level, it has coincided with this part of the day. Okay, so it means that the breakout, pullback, and continuation pattern is a genuine rebound, and people have started to position in this manner, in this flat formation breakout. And today itself, it has broken out above the 195 and it traded higher towards the 207. So that is around 4 to 5% gains within just one session. So around 3 hours, and you can roughly gain around 4 to 5%. So that is a quite an amazing run for some of the stocks that we have picked. So we have put in our effort into understanding what is good for the market for the day, and we try to pinpoint towards some alpha plays. This is one of the alphas, Encom. And Encom, you have to understand that Encom has also an Encom Logistic Berhad that is under them. So Logistic Berhad is also under this so-called theme of this transportation and shipping or logistic industry that, could later on, they might have some M&A acquisition and things like that that's happening in the market. So I believe that throughout this period of time, we are still able to capture some of these good counters that provided by us every day. We have 8 counters under daily peak. But again, if you don't have any counters in your mind and these are not favorable to you, what you can do is always go back to traders list, because traders list is what we compile over the past one week itself, or 5 to 7 trading days, and see where is the breakouts happening, all the counters, and what else are in a favorable position to trade. So Amulus is some of the counters that we have put in earlier on. It has triggered us, must have triggered us earlier around the 107, all this 110, and right now it has been triggering again around 113. But so far, so good. I think that the trend is still quite sustainable for most of the technology companies, and I believe that it should also retest the previous high around the 1 ring at 21 cents level. Okay. Other than that, M Cement is also very good because of this construction sector is actually on the run, right? So M Cement is actually breaking out, and today itself it has started to make even higher move towards the 307 level. So I think people also wondering, is there any push of this construction sector or building materials ahead of this budget 2022? That is very important, because normally during this season itself, construction sector will be one of the so-called best beneficiary of the budget every year. So people will anticipate, when they want to boost economy, they will try to make some good contracts awards out, or some good interesting significant construction projects, and that will actually boost construction sector in at least this particular period of time. So ahead of budget or prior to the budget 2022, people will be looking into the construction sector, and that is why building materials is also very important, like cement and also steel sector. But later on, I'll talk about steel. Why steel is not really improving and things like that. So maybe we can look into some steel companies later on. Yeah. Talking about Optimax. Optimax is one of the companies that we put in under our market outlook today, and it has started to break out above the 1 ring at 40 cents level. This is quite a good genuine breakout, and I think there are some opportunities to trade on this counter. And the idea of Optimax is also because the recovery of patients is coming back to do their eye surgeries, to do their checkups. During MCO itself, you are afraid that if you go into all these hospitals and clinics, you are bound to have some maybe you are bound to COVID infections. And right now, we can see that people have started to immune to COVID, so-called immune to the worries or concern, and they can go back to their do their eye checkup and do their eye surgery. So that is why we have put in Optimax under the healthcare. They are very likely to grow from this point onwards, and therefore from the chart itself, it has performed in terms of a flat formation breakout, and that is why I think there is a lot of opportunities within this kind of very niche specialized sector in healthcare. We don't talk about the full-fledged hospital anymore, but maybe we select those counters that is very niche. They can really grow from this point onwards. So Optimax is one of them, and Optimax has breakout at around 923, 924. So this is a part of the breakout. It happened here and started to trade higher, 142 towards 144. And right now it seems like it's on the way up. So let's see what's going to happen later on. But I believe that there's still really very strong upside to it from this point. Okay, rate tone is under the telco sector. I think that there might be some people, looking into this kind of counters ahead of 12 MP because they anticipated the 5G is a very important rollout plan for Malaysia for the next 5 years. So that's why rate tone has been seen coming back. Rexit also has been great as well. I think over the past few days, I think since we have put in under the daily peak, it has traded from this around 90, 96, 98 towards around the current position is 99.5. So I think 1 to 2 ticks movements. VTrox, VS, all these are other tech companies. I believe that there are still room to grow. So VTrox as well, you can see that there's a good breakout. So overall, I think there is no issue on the tech counter right now. Tech counter technology stocks will continue to move much higher from this point. Based on our earlier analysis, we are expecting this technology index to head towards at least 100. Okay, so I guess that will be some of the ideas behind what have we been putting into our trading ideas and daily picks and traders list, and these are some of them, and we should be able to move on with. First of all, I think technology, you cannot go away from them, so that's why you have to position yourself within tech sectors from this point. I think there are still a lot of room for tech counters because if you think about technological advancement, human being will not stop from this point to grow, right? So which means that from this point, there are still a lot more other areas to grow, like AI, machine learning, data, or even improve, all these sensors that needed in electric vehicles will be also one part of the module that they need to build in the future. So they need more chips, semiconductor chips, and therefore I would say that in terms of technology sector, there are still a lot of areas that it can grow. Not only talking about the gadgets, even the gadgets, people can still continue to grow in terms of the semiconductor chips, and even Apple has come up with M1 chip and things like that. So all these are technological advancement. People will not stop. Human being will not stop, and therefore technology is still one of the sectors that will be continuing a very strong run for at least 5, 10, or 15 years down the road. Okay, so that is just some of the idea behind what is happening in the market and some of the stocks. And today we have a market outlook report, market chat report, and we have been putting our thoughts into it. We like construction sector, we like building material sector, we like aviation, which is AirAsia. We also like technology and telco, and also one of the counters that is very interesting is this OMH. Last Friday itself, it has started to break out, and today it has started to fall back quite significantly. But I wouldn't think that this gap up, sell down is any thing worrying. But I would say that if they can come back towards around the 2 ringgit 50 cents or 2 ringgit 80 cents level, then I'm more interested to take a look, another look into it to see whether there is any pullback phase. And then if there is a good hammer or even the bullish engulfing bar near towards this position here, I would suggest that people will start to accumulate. And I think the next resistance will be very strong towards this 420 level, or even the target will be around 420 or even higher, much higher towards the 469 level. So the idea behind it is because OMH is dealing with ferrosilicon and also silicon manganese, which is FESI and SIMN. So these two products are actually, if you go into Google and check, you can see that ferrosilicon and also this silico manganese is actually at a very steep uptrend move, very steep uptrend move within like a few months, they already doubled or tripled or quadrupled in terms of the prices. So which means that OMH can actually sell this kind of their products in a higher price, and OMH is in Malaysia producing them. So which means that there is no winter in Malaysia that will stop them from producing it. In all those winter countries, they can't sell during winters, or they can't produce during winters. So that is why in OMH itself, it is very strategically located for them in Malaysia, that they are having low cost structure because they are using hydro power to power their manufacturing sector, and their manufacturing plant, and they have this the geographical advantages. We don't have winter, so they can produce all year long. So that is how impressive is this case study right now. So I would assume that if 3 ringgit can fall back towards 280 or even 250, I would take that opportunity to look again into where is the entry point, and perhaps there should be more upside to OMH in the future. Okay, so these would be some of the ideas behind my market outlook, and also today's daily picks. So before we go into Q&A section, make sure that you have make a sharing, share our video out, and hopefully that we can achieve to broader exposure for our videos and our webinars. And also not forgetting tomorrow night, I'm also having a market outlook webinar. And this market outlook webinar is very important because you are able to win some prizes. Okay, so just join in at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, and there is a touch and go e-wallet prizes to be announced tomorrow, and that will give you an advantage into using them into buying your stuff in the future. So just join in at 8 p.m. Then we will try to see who will there will be some random winners, and who will get it, and you are all invited to this webinar. Okay, so make sure you join in 8 p.m. Market Outlook tomorrow. Okay, so let's talk about the Q&A section right now. So make sure you have the sharer button, sharer badge. So you have to share the video out to get the sharer badge, and in order to let me answer your question, you need to have a sharer badge. Okay, so I go through some of the questions. Okay, some of the questions. So let's see. Yeah, just now we have mentioned about the steel related counters. So before we go into PA, which is one of the counters under the steel sector, maybe we have to also understand what is the steel counters in the China is doing. So in China itself, before this Evergrande issue has been out, it is all this while going up. But recently with this Evergrande issue, I think this property market in China might be slowing down. And when property market is slowing down, it means that less of the launches, less of the property players are going to make more properties out, and therefore the sentiment in the China is not as great. So when China has limit this kind of property, limiting some of these property companies, if they can't really build more, which means that they use lesser building materials, and therefore the steel counters are actually falling in China. So if that is the case, that would also appear to be negative to us as well. So in terms of the, I think the share prices in terms of most of our steel counters, I think most of them are actually in a much more negative position compared to last 1 month ago or 2 months ago. So I think right now what we should do is we try to see where is the exiting point for most of the steel counters, and we try to make an effort to switch funds into some other things. Okay. So talking about just now the question, PA is also under this related to these steel counters or even aluminum counters. Again, when the property sector is in the China is not making a good effort, and I think we have to also realize that this might not be good for the overall industry in Malaysia as well. So steel, metal related or aluminium counters, I think we might need to avoid at this moment until there are more clarity in China. Okay, so mainly is that that is the issue that is affecting this sector. Okay, so looking at this PA 7225, we can see that it has started to make a very good rebound early on, and it pulled back without significant volume. And so this might be a good opportunity if you are looking into buy for a short-term trading. Then this is 37 cents, 38 cents is the support, and 41 cents or even short-term trading would be around the 40 to 41 cents. So if you are, because the sentiment right now is not that great. So if you want to really trade on this kind of counter, you need to know where is your rebound point, resistance point, anything, anywhere to cut loss. So target profit, you need to understand all these structure first before you enter. So if I am painting a negative outlook, and if you still want to trade on this counter, then I would suggest you to trade within the range bound mode, 37 to 41 cents range. Okay, so this will be the idea. But I don't think that it will be able to break out even higher towards 41 cents and above, and towards this 43 cents. I would think that it is slightly less likely for now because of this huge bar here. So there's a huge selling pressure here. So I think a lot of people will start to take profit along 40 to 41 cents until they can really clear off the 41 cents. Then we can see further upside towards at least the previous high around this level of the 47 cents level. So for the time being, I think the negative sentiment is in, and therefore, if you really wanted to trade this kind of counter, buy on rebound, buy on support, and sell on resistance. That is the very clear cut rule of thumb. Okay, so PA, I think this is very clear cut. How about next one, Mr. DIY? Some of them ask question on Mr. DIY. I think it is still worthwhile to look into Mr. DIY. Mr. DIY is still part of the KLCI index, and I think this is a good. I mean, uh, this is still a very strong top 30 counters in the stock market in Malaysia. So the idea behind the Mr. DIY is definitely the recovery team. Under this, a very dire situation during this COVID pandemic. We can see that there have been closure on Mr. DIY. But if you think about what are the products they're selling more towards the B40 kind of B40 or M40 kind of products, because it is worth the money. When you buy something that is, a pail or a broomstick is around 5 to 10 ringgit, compared to when you go into shopping mall, once they start, it's already 15 or even 20 ringgit. So I'm thinking along this line of after this COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people must have lost their job, lost some income. So those people are quite, I would say that quite a lot, that if they really want to buy something that they need for themselves, for their household, then they might go to Mr. DIY. Why do they want to go to a much more expensive kind of places to buy their products? So in that sense, recovery team will come back to them. I think I would say that because the targeted market is the mass market, so a lot of people might want to buy something cheap and value for money. They will go to Mr. DIY, and the growth factor is there for Mr. DIY. And I suppose that right now it is still not turning into downtrend mode yet. So I would say it is still quite worthwhile to hang on to it. And the next target I'm looking at will be around the 4 ringgit 14 cents or even the 4 ringgit and 30 cents level. So this will be the range that we are going to monitor for a good potential breakout, and target will be around 414 towards 440, and support range will be around this 3 ringgit 80 cents level. So I will still I still believe the story in Mr. DIY, and I think there are still some room to grow in terms of their story for next couple of quarters. Let's see how does it pan out, because right now they have started their business again after the MCO. So just hang on to it, I think. Yeah. So mine to share Solar Vest, Chrono, and D-Sonic. I think Solar Vest is part of the journey for the 12MP, and also I think budget itself will have some impact towards the renewable energy sector as well. So I would say that today's volume is telling you some signs that people are buying into it, but it is not strong. But again, when you come to think about it, this is a very decent sell down phase, and then a good rebound, and then good sideways formation, and higher high, higher low, higher lows, and higher lows, and lower highs and lower lows. So this would form triangle formation here. And if we notice this volume is trying to see some breakout, but it didn't happen. But I believe that over the next couple of days, I would say that there is a very good chance that we are anticipating a breakout move to happen in solar bears, and next target might be this kind of range of movements. So let's see. Okay, so this kind of movements, a breakout above that 1 ringgit and 35 cents will give us a mid-term target or long-term target around the 1 ringgit 81 cents. I believe that under this 12 MP, the Malaysia plan, people will start to position themselves in all this renewable energy, 5G related. That maybe people are looking into also EV in Malaysia as well. So things are brewing, so that's why people will start to buy into them. Okay, so solar bears I think is good, but perhaps we also need to know where is the cut-off point, which is around the 1 ringgit and 25 cents level, and that would be the range of the cut-off point. Chrono, I think Chrono is one of the companies that we put under our market chat. We believe that the cloud demand will continue to rise, and they have this China acquisition. Perhaps you can actually look into the profit guarantee part. They are saying that around, I think, 2 million profit guarantee and 2.3 or 2.5 million for next next 2 years. So I think there is a very good opportunity that we can actually look into Chronology Asia, because they are under the cloud computing services, and they should provide the better so-called growth in the future. And especially during this pandemic itself, a lot of people are using more cloud services. So we are going to monitor this as a good flat formation breakout. So if they can break out above the 67 cents level, then next target will be located around this level of 72.5, or even towards this level of 77 cents level. So these are some of the ranges that I'm looking at for Chronology Asia. Okay, I'll take another 5 more questions. So we have NCORP, we have Jetson, we have Latitude, we have JFTech, and this DSonic. So DSonic perhaps is still wandering around this level here. There is not much of impetus, but I would say that this is a very good start of the opportunity to position yourself. You can see that there are double bottom formation around the 44 cents level, and they have some volume coming in 3 trading days ago, which is on Thursday, Friday, and today is still on a pullback mode. I would say that there is quite a limited downside risk, around the 46 cents level. If they can form this sideways formation or flat formation, I would say that there is a very, very good chance that it should perform in terms of this breakout, pullback, and continuation method towards the 51.5 and 53 cents level. I see that as a very good opportunity to look at this as a good double bottom formation, and we should be able to see further upside from this point onwards. Okay. NCORP, I think a few days back we did put this in our stock list, if I'm not mistaken. But that may be 2 weeks ago. Yeah, maybe 2 weeks ago. But certainly it is an uptrending counter, no doubt about it. And it is trading higher. So we just have to use the EMA 5 or EMA 9, depending on what are the time frames that you're looking at. So near term wise, I say that 50 cents will be a cut loss point. If anything falls below 50 cents, then we have to cut. Next target will be around the 60 cents level. So this is an uptrend intact counter. So we just have to hang on to it until it reverses. Right now, there is still a very strong momentum at this moment. So we just hang on to this current move for now. Okay. Next, we have Jetson. Jetson is sort of related to construction, water related, and things like that. So overall, I see that this might be a very good opportunity. People are using, people are thinking about the Sungai Rasau water treatment plant as well. Since early this year, they have started to mention about this treatment plant that they want to bid and dish out some contracts by fourth quarter. So this is getting nearer to the dishing out of this contract. So perhaps when they have started to dish out the contracts, and there are more news on the water segment, then this will be more interesting. For now, 37.5 cents is definitely the cut loss point, and the next target will be located around the 40. Let's see, 45 cents. Then next target will be around the 48.5. So these are the levels that I'm going to monitor for a rebound play and towards these 48.5 cents. But don't be surprised that when they announce some of the water treatment plant projects, these can happen as well. So they can actually surge from 37 towards 64 within a day. So yeah, don't be surprised because they might happen. It might happen, and it might happen on Jetson because there are few rounds, few rounds of this kind of move happening earlier on. So yeah, Jetson is still a good one to hang on because team is there. Sungai Rasau or water treatment plant is there, so they are related, sort of related, and that is where we can actually monitor. Okay. Latitude. Latitude is related to furniture counters. I think furniture counters are quite well known to say that they are benefiting from the pandemic. But earnings wise, we really need to see whether does it continue to move higher in terms of their earnings, because it might be one off and people might treat that as one off, like similar to glove counters kind of, because it's not really a need kind of thing. So they can't really increase their price too much, too high. Just that the volume, selling volume is higher right now. It will translate to higher earnings, but again, it should be a one-off thing in my view, because people have already bought their furnitures to stay at home and things like that. They wouldn't buy another new set within at least within maybe 1-2 years. They wouldn't buy a new one. So the demand will be sort of taper down, and it will wane throughout time. So I think for latitude wise, although right now it's an uptrend position, re-establishing the uptrend move, and support is around 162. The next target will be around 182 towards 195 towards 203. I think that will be the max for the time being. Unless earnings can sustain for another 1 year, then it is a different scenario all in all. Okay, so last counter for today, I'll just go through the Q&A section. JF Tech has been just turning sideways. It is not as strong as other counters for when UWC, Great Tech, all those companies that are making great new highs. This is still turning from the bottom level and haven't really made new high yet. The highest point recently is around this level here, but here they are still not able to break new high. So this is considered as a slightly laggard play. But again, laggard play, which means that you have a chance to tap along with this laggard kind of counters. So anything that's going to pull back, towards this 143 level, that will be a good opportunity to accumulate. Then next target will be around the 157 towards 162. So that will be the range that I'm looking at for this JF Tech for the time being. I don't have a negative view on tech counters. So just as long as they are laggard, you can trade on it. I think you can just buy and hold on to it. So as long as they are above SMA 50 and above SMA 200, I think that is a very good opportunity to accumulate those counters. So just to summarize, what we have said today is technology is still very strong, and overall market is waiting for 12 MP to settle. I think recently just only people have sent out the tax speech by our PM. And our government would have a lot of plans for this 12 MP. And bear in mind, this tomorrow we have market outlook. We'll talk about some of the beneficiaries, perhaps in the 12 MP, because this is a very hot thing. I think it should give us some good trading ideas until end of next month, because this will continue until budget 2022. Because 12 MP is telling you the guideline for the next 5 years, and budget 2022 is the start of the second year into the 5-year plan, and that will give you an idea that if 12 MP is already saying that telco and also this construction is the leader, then budget 22 will reinforce this kind of policies to make sure that they will move in tandem towards 2025. So that is the whole idea of the 12 Malaysian plan. So I guess that will be it. So please join in tomorrow into our Market Outlook webinar. at 8 p.m. and you are able to deserve to win a prize. A random winner will win a prize tomorrow. So I guess that will sum up today's market whiz highlight for today. So thank you so much, and thank you for your sharing the video to your friends and family members. And hopefully you have a good trading day ahead and a good quarter ahead. Thank you so much.